As a wise man once said, life is roadblocks.
A wise man? Like DJ Khaled?
Yeah, but what DJ Khaled meant by this was that life itself has a bunch of obstacles that you have to overcome. And we'll be talking about those obstacles on our podcast today.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the first official episode of the Project Mynd podcast. We're your hosts, Eugena and Hang, and we are super excited to be here in duck form.
So, Eugena, how's school been recently?
School has definitely been tough lately. Year 12 and 13 has really been a whirlwind of work, especially with all of our synoptics, our EEs, TOK essays, and pretty much every other class assignment. And I think additionally, our university applications and thoughts of graduation are all coming at us really fast. I just received an email this afternoon about my university application being due in 6 days. So it's not great. How's school been for you lately?
Does that school application in 6 days apply for everyone?
Unless you're applying to Canada.
Okay, thank God.
Okay, because U of
I
T
think that says a little
applications
bit about
are
something about
due.
me. Okay, sorry. Yeah, stress. Yeah, I've been pretty stressed out recently too, since I just finished up with my EE, and I'm currently doing my bio IA, which is not going as planned, which is not my fault or anyone else's fault. We're just kind of misguided about our EEs and
very
our
true.
IAs. But yeah, I don't know. How do you deal with stress normally?
I have to be honest and say not well. Though the impending doom of deadlines does make me work more efficiently, it's probably not the best method for making sure I stay on top of things. And I feel definitely burnt out sometimes, and seeing the assessment calendar genuinely makes my break out in a cold sweat. But yeah, how about you? How would you say you deal with stress?
I totally agree with you about your impending doom of deadlines, because I additionally also do that. I mean, what I do is that I just wait for the deadlines to hit me in the face, and then I go, I should probably start doing that. I mean, isn't it due in like what, 6 hours? But I do really, really feel the same way, because stress is so common nowadays that a break from stress is like a blessing. But what I learned was that you have to create a break for yourself, because it's just going to build until you snap one day and end up in a ditch. Not from personal experience.
That's very accurate and also very specific.
Yeah.
So, what is stress, scientifically, I mean?
Stressful situations trigger a rush of hormones, namely adrenaline and cortisol, to flow through your body. Cortisol and adrenaline increase your blood flow and your heartbeat so you can act quickly, prepare for you to use fat and sugar so you can have as much energy as possible, and a bunch of other scientific stuff that probably aren't as important. But the problem is not the scientific side of it, it's what stress can do to your body if you have it for a very, very long time. When you experience stress at a short-term level, it's good for keeping you on track of things, but long-lasting stress can be quite dangerous for your body. Stress causes muscle tension, which also causes many other issues. Tension and migraine headaches are both caused by tension in the shoulders, neck, and head. Chronic stress issues can also develop as a result of constant muscle tension.
That's kind of weird and scary to think about, because we're like constantly stressed all the time. So just thinking about the fact that that this, like, all of these long-term health problems could happen to us is kind of just, I don't know, it's kind of jarring to think about, because we use stress as one of our main motivators, like you and me both. And knowing that it could cause this much damage to us, it makes me think about how I handle my stuff differently.
Yeah. The good part of that is that relaxation techniques and stress relieving activities constantly do help as much as people say that those things are only for you to waste time or to pass your days away. Those are activities that you should be actively participating in, as well as activities such as physical exercise, which means that your muscles can take that time to really, really relax.
That's good to know.
Do you think COVID played an impact on how we as students tend to deal with stress?
That's a good question. I I would like to say yes because it's just easier to blame everything on COVID. Though jokes aside, I do think COVID really did impact our ability to balance and separate our school lives and personal lives. It's hard to when we were essentially trapped in our homes for 2 years and had to convert it to an all-in-one classroom, workspace, and study. And not to mention, at that time, we were going through our GCSEs. So I think the stress of not feeling like I was gaining anything from my classes did affect me because as soon as I got back to face learning, it truly felt like my first time going to school. I felt behind on all my work, and I remember wondering how everyone had managed to stay motivated and on top of their workload because people were handing in all of their assignments on time, and teachers were calling me out and they were like, "Where's your work?" And I was like, my go-to excuse for that, by the way, was, "Oh, I must have made a copy of the document and I didn't copy it in correctly." I literally made a TikTok about it. I made a TikTok and I posted it about it. Like, that was how bold I was feeling. And yeah, to be honest, I don't think I really went back to my pre-COVID level of studiousness even till now. Just thinking about COVID times gives me flashbacks because I would fall asleep in class, wake up to the teacher literally going, "Hello, Eugenia, are you there? Hello?" And it would just be me and my teacher on the Google Meet, and I wanted to crawl inside of a hole.
I totally understand that. I mean, online school, I think the part of the reason why everyone felt like they couldn't study and they couldn't pay attention or just they felt like showing up to class was kind of optional was that it didn't really feel real. Like to
You're right about
turn on
that.
your laptop every single day and sit in front of it for 6 hours, 5 hours, and then just go about your day after that as if you didn't actually go to school and experience all of that, conversation that you have with your friends or conversations that you have with your teachers or just walking around every single day, going to all of your activities and actually doing PE that made sense. If we were lacking all of those experiences, school just felt fake.
It really did feel like a simulation. Like, I felt like I was a sim. So it was really weird to me. What about you? How do
Yeah.
you think COVID plays into this?
Well, I've definitely felt the results of staying inside for several years. I mean, I went in as a fully socialized member of society and left as a brief Dream S&P fan. Besides that, I felt like I
Oh.
entered the lockdown at the same age I left. My stress management was no better. It was even worse than when I entered. I resulted to constant media consumption and procrastination. I feel like GCSE was a point for every student pre-COVID to finally learn what stress management was and what true stress felt like. But because of our constant onlineness, that's not a word, but constant need to be online, um, it
Uh-huh.
just meant that we weren't given that opportunity to truly know what stress felt like in an academic place outside of personal worries such as going outside when it was terrible for everyone or how you were going to manage your friendships and things like that.
I totally
Um,
agree with
yeah.
you. I just think that COVID really messed up with the way like we handle academic stress in particular because I remember thinking like like preparing for my GCSEs and I was stressed out like no other. But I at that same time I wasn't stressed out enough to do more about it. Like, I'm kind of at that stage right now where during when we had our synoptics, I was nowhere near as stressed for my synoptics as I should have been compared to my GCSEs. Like, my GCSE mocks were like, this is it or nothing. It's all in or nothing. But I feel like I should be taking the synoptics in year 13 or like year 12 more seriously, because that's what really counts. So I don't know, I really do feel like the lack of guidance that we had during COVID, which is by no fault of like anybody, just COVID, really did change the way we feel about stress. Because I don't know if it's just me, but like, do you feel stressed with school now compared, like, as stressed as you do feel with school now compared to GCSE times?
I will say, I stopped feeling school stress as strongly as I did in my GCSEs right after our mocks were cancelled for the second time. For the first time our mocks were cancelled, I remember I studied pretty much as hard as I could for the first round of mocks that we were going to do. But then they announced that they were cancelling it, and
that was
then
like
I
our
was
English
like,
ones,
okay,
right?
that's great. Yeah, I was like, that's great. We have more time to study. So I went and did that. Studied for our second round of mocks, but then they were cancelled again. By that time, I was like, is there really any point to really study? Or does it really even matter if they're just going to keep on cancelling it again and again and again? So by the time our third mocks rolled in, right after Christmas, I think, I had no studying done. I wasn't studying at all. I was just constantly watching YouTube, constantly playing video games, constantly chatting to my friends.
Your dream SMP.
The only thing the one thing that I didn't do was, open a textbook and look at the words that I was supposed to do. And the problem with GCSE was that everything was made easier for us, which meant that not studying for tests was something that we could totally do and would still pass with maybe average or above average grades. For me, I didn't study for any of my subjects ahead of time, except for a couple days before, maybe a day to like 12 hours before an exam. I remember I entered my math test, my math assessment for my actual GCSEs. I didn't study the day before or the week before or even a month before. I studied the day of, and I ended up with a 6 out of 9. Like our highest grade is a 9, right? And the lowest grade is a 1. I got a 6, which is pretty good. The thing is, because things were easier... because things were made easier for us, it didn't feel like we had to do anything other than just show up at an exam at the right time that we should have. So studying was kind of just useless because we could have just gotten mediocre grades for doing essentially nothing. And that was it. But
I feel
now
like
we're
taken
entering
that for
our...
granted.
Yeah, we definitely have. We've gotten a lot more lax with it. But the thing is, we can't take it for granted now. Lax, yeah, LAX. Yeah, I'm using a little bit
Too
of
lax.
Cool terminology.
She's using colloquial terminology right now.
Lax is not colloquial.
Is it not?
It is not. Lax is...
It's formal?
Lax is not sufficiently strict, severe, or careful. And it is not colloquialism.
Oh,
Anyways.
I did not know that. Please cut this out.
Yeah, the more you know. Unless you want a little fun fact segment, but anyways. As I was saying, I feel like that we can't relax, we can't take it sleazy for our entirety of our IB because we just can't afford that.
And the fact that they've
made
like everything stricter now too, like, because coming out of COVID now, they're like, okay, we were too lenient, well, not too lenient, but like the tests for the class of 2023, the class of 2021, even 2020, even, yeah, 2020 as well. Like, all of it, they were canceled, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
Like,
they went off
the
their
IB
mocks
exams.
and classwork.
They were canceled. So when they got their grades back, I'm pretty sure the class before, no, 2 classes before, so class of 2022, they did the best out of all of the cohorts because the IB diploma, like the IB organization, was like, okay, COVID has really disrupted us. But coming out of COVID now, they're like, okay, COVID, you can't really use that as a crutch anymore. COVID's long gone. We're back to normal now. So the lenience that we both experienced during GCSE times, we've really been relying on that, and that's not good, because we're like constantly stressed about something, but like not stressed enough about it to care more, if that makes sense.
Exactly, yeah. I totally get that, yeah. It's just like I feel like we lack a stress response that's severe enough to make us do work.
Mm-hmm.
If that's just some excuse, I guess, but I really genuinely feel that. Because we aren't, once again you said that we aren't given the same allowances that people in previous years had, because obviously their reasoning was completely just, like they have to go through COVID, things like that. But this is the full course. We have to learn things exactly as they were before. We have to just do our EEs on time. We have to do our bio stuff on time. We have to do our essays on time. We have to do every single essay and we have to do it during class time, or because of situations outside of our control, we have to eat into our own sleeping schedules, It's just not good for you. Speaking of eating into sleeping schedules.
It's not healthy at all. Like, the way, I don't know, because everyone around us seems so put together. They're like, oh yeah, look at my to-do list, and everything on their to-do list is like perfectly ticked off. They have a plan, and I think seeing that, and obviously everybody knows that you're not supposed to be comparing yourself to other people. Like, you know what they say, comparison is a thief of joy. But like, it's human nature, no? Like, to compare yourself with others, especially at a time like this where university applications are due, university entrance stuff, early apps, whatever. And you're just like, okay, but like, why aren't I doing as well as them? I think that really adds on to the stress like of school as a whole, because you're like, am I falling behind? Am I not going to succeed because I'm not this, I'm not that? The added on like pressure of that is so overwhelming, and I feel like not enough people talk about it, because seeing all of my friends get ready for their early apps and feeling like, oh yeah, I've just finished my personal statement, oh, I'm doing these entrance exams, and I'm just like, what is going on with me? Like, why am I not halfway there yet? Like, I barely know what I'm doing. I barely know what my future pathway is, but these people have it all set in stone.
Yeah, I totally understand that, because it's like, if you're not meant to compare yourself, and every single teacher you've ever talked to about this, every single LPS class, every single PSHE class is always like, don't compare yourself to others because everyone's unique. But the thing is, we live in a world which means that you have to compare yourself to others, or else you won't be able to live in your life. I mean, everything you go through right now, school, university applications, it might seem like everyone is experiencing the same thing, and everyone's going through the same thing, and everyone's your classmate, your friend, and your ally. But at the end of the day, it's all a competition.
It is, and nobody talks about it enough, because like, they love saying that it's not a competition, but it really is, because you know that if you don't step it up, you're gonna fall behind, and there's no falling behind, because it's either this or you just don't go to university, or you don't get into the university you want to go to. So I think the stress on top of all the tests that we have to do is unlike any other stress I've faced. Like, it's so different to just stress about like academics. It's more so about like overall stress about your life. Like, am I making the right choice right now? Should I be doing more?
Yeah.
And I think it kind of messes with you because it also affects your performance on your academics. Like, because of your need, like, because of everyone's need to do as well as they can, score as high as they possibly can on every single test, you end up throwing yourself into more and more work. And I think this year in particular, it feels like I have no social life. Every single time every single time we have a day off, I'm just like, oh, this isn't actually not a day off. This is a day to catch up on work. I don't really have, like, I don't have as much time as I did before, which is obviously a given. But, like, the contrast between year 12 and year 13, you wouldn't think is that different, but it's so different. Wow, like, it's crazy.
It's kind of like, picture Sisyphus, and he's pushing a big boulder up a hill, and when he reaches the top of the hill, he's like, wow, I can finally put down this boulder. And then some guy comes along and he's like, hey, nice boulder. Oh, seems like you've pushed it to the top of this hill. Let me get this ball rolling for you. And he pushes it all the way down the hill again, and Sisyphus has to push it all the way back to the top. And the whole time, the school is the giant, by the way, the giant that's pushing the boulder back down the hill. The school's like, you know what? This will help you in the long term. In the long term, this will help you build up your perseverance and your strength and everything like that. And, you know, it might be helpful, but also all that stress added on top of everything, just at the same time crushing on you, crushing your dreams and your hopes and your future, is just not, you know, it's not conductive for a workplace. It's like, you know, it's like,
that's a very morbid,
too much.
That's very morbid analogy, but I get it. I don't know, like, I don't vibe with school recently. Like, it doesn't make me, school has so much to offer for me, but at the same time, every time I think about how much work I have to do, I'm just like, school has nothing to offer me right now. And I wish it were different.
Yeah, when you think about the lack of social life, you know what day we're recording this on? Halloween. Today is Halloween, October the 31st. Well, it's technically like 2 hours after Halloween, but it's the fact that, you know, neither of us are out.
Neither of us are out trick-or-treating right now.
Like, or like going to a Halloween party.
We're sitting in our rooms.
Recording a podcast about how stressed out we are.
Like, I can't do this. I can't. I just don't know how to properly process everything that's happened this year, because year 12 went by like a flash. Like, I blinked and year 12 was over, and we were like, okay, senior year, final year of school. And I was like, wait a minute, wait a minute now. Things were just getting started though. And then literally, like I said, the impending doom of everything, especially university, has got us in a little bit of a kerfuffle right now.
A little bit of a chokehold.
A little bit of a chokehold. Like, I'm a snafu. This is a snafu.
You know, every single time I get stressed out, I just think about, like, how we just have a year left, but even that year seems so daunting to me. I'm like, well, I don't think I can make it past this month.
We don't have a year left. We really don't. We have max.
We have like 6 months.
7 months. Yeah. Max 7 months right now. We're closer.
But
we're
it's still
closer to graduating than it being like I can't think about graduation. I can't think about it. I just can't.
The thing is, I've heard so many people say the same thing, which is that I feel like I could just drop out right now this same year, because even though we only have 6 months left before we have to do all of the big stuff, like do all the exams and things like that, everyone's just it's all taking a toll on people, you know? The fact that, like,
Yes.
we have to do everything by now, so everyone just feels like they're so drained and stressed out that they would rather just leave school right now and not finish, because that would just be way better for them overall.
It's tempting, though, is it not? Like, if you're giving me, like I said, the choice to press the red button or the blue button, the red button being never feel this overwhelmed in your life again, or the blue button feel overwhelmed but finish everything, I would press the red button. I'd be like, no, yeah, you got me at never feel this overwhelmed. Like, you got me there. Because this type of feeling, I truly have not felt it anywhere else, where it's a strange mixture of really, really, really stressed out of your mind, and also really, 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 I don't care anymore. And you're teetering between this thin line of both. And you're like, a tiny gust of wind will blow me over to either side of this line. And somehow you're hoping it blows you over to the I don't care anymore, because that would at least give you a reason to not feel stressed anymore. But, like, you can't. Like, you just can't have that happen to you. You can't have that happen to you within having 6 months left of year 13. So you're literally desperately trying to get onto the I'm so stressed out of my mind, but at least it'll help me do something side. It's unbelievable. Like, nobody talks about it. Everyone's just like, yeah, year 13 is hard. But no one tells you how hard. They just say it's hard. But, like, how? You just have to feel it for yourself.
So, with all that in mind, and, you know, thinking about how we have 6 months left, how do you think is the best way we should deal with that, you know? Like, what advice do you think people should have, besides all, you know, the sleep more, eat healthy, lead a balanced lifestyle tip, that frankly are not that helpful?
Wow. I think breaks are 100% a must. And I think it's definitely important to take them from time to time. I know I do, especially when studying for stuff, because you will feel so drained, you will feel like you're burning out, and you don't want that. So take some time for yourself, watch a movie, read a book, play a game, or anything that you enjoy. And sometimes needing to take an entire day to rest and relax is completely normal. And no one should feel lazy or selfish for wanting some time away from their academics. But yeah, do you have anything else to add?
I think listening to music definitely helps. I know it's very tempting for people our age and people younger and anyone dealing with stress, really, to, like, slip off into a daydream for, like, 7 hours.
Definitely. Definitely the doom scrolling
While
on
that
Instagram
is,
Reels.
Yeah, while daydreaming and doom scrolling is very, very calming and it really helps, daydreaming for too long is very dangerous, because then it starts to feel like you would rather spend your entire life in a daydream, you know, 6-7 hours in a daydream, live out your daydream to its fullest, and, you know, who cares about the real life, you know, you have your made-up world that you made up yourself.
You have your fake scenarios.
Yeah, but if you feel like you are way too close to slipping off into a daydream for hours at a time, you should really ground yourself and take away from that feeling, because even though it's so nice and calming for you, in the long run, if you get stuck in it for too long, you'll end up wasting your life. Replace that with, like, trying to start a new book, or drawing something, or, you know, talking with your friends.
Yes.
I think is a good
Stay
thing.
connected with your friends. They can really help you through tough times.
You know, I figured out something that I was thinking about for quite a bit. a way for you to increase the chances of, hanging out with your friends while doing something productive is to do small, tiny adventures every once in a while. It doesn't have to be every day. It doesn't have to be every week. At least once a month, Go somewhere with your friends. Go bicycle, go bicycle.
Go bicycle.
Go bicycle. No,
Go bicycle.
At least once a month, do something with your friends where it involves you going outside and having fun, Go outside,
touch some
go on a
grass.
bike with your friends. Touch some grass, It's a joke. It might be a joke to some people, but really, do it.
No,
it's
touch
fun.
some grass.
It's great. If you don't want to be outside, it's fine. Just go indoor bowling or, go to an arcade with your friends or a cinema. Something once a month that you can really look forward to will make all that change in your life, It'll
It's
make
like
it
a
feel
little
so
bit
much
of
better.
incentive for you as well.
A little reward. Reward.
It's like a reward. It's like a reward.
Yeah.
I like that idea actually a lot. I didn't think of that. But that's actually really genius because it makes you look forward to getting through the month.
Right.
And it makes all of
Right.
the hard work you do so worth it. Because you're like, I
Once
get to
a
see my
month.
besties now. I get to
Small
see my
adventure.
besties now. Small
Yeah.
adventure.
Tiny adventure. Perfect for winter, honestly. Now that it's getting a little bit
because
colder.
It's
Take a walk.
nice. Take a
Once in
walk.
your life, take a
Appreciate
walk.
the appreciate the little things around you.
Appreciate the fact that Hong Kong is nice enough in winter for you to see the blue sky while not sweating your butt off. Just appreciate it.
You are such an optimist at this stage. I love it.
Yeah. So that's pretty much all I have to say,
So, since your brilliant idea about these little adventures, I have to know, like, what's a good one? Let me think right now. I think maybe go to a movie, see the latest film. What's a good one?
Well, it doesn't even have to be that big, You can just go out for lunch with your friend. Go out for dinner,
Yeah, because we're at the age where like
karaoke.
lunch dates and dinner dates are socially acceptable.
Exactly.
Because
Yeah.
we're like, you wanna have lunch, and they're like, yeah, and then after lunch, you're just like, okay, let's go home now. Lunch is over.
Yeah. It's been a great
Lunch
day.
is over, man.
If you're one of those people that really likes, long periods of hanging out with your friend, maybe take a Saturday to go, first of all, start off with lunch and then go off and see something nice in nature, take some photographs, go home and watch a movie at home with your friends. Do a little sleepover if you're for that, and then you'll have the entirety of Sunday to do your work.
That's such a great idea, Yihang. You that's such a balanced lifestyle thing. I like that.
Yeah. I think that pretty much wraps up the first Project Mind podcast for today. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll talk your ear off again soon.
Bye.
Bye.